Every 2 years, the African continent unites to celebrate one of the most revered football tournaments in the world, the Africa Cup of Nations. AFCON, the heartbeat of African football, is a stage where legends are born, rivalries are ignited, and countries from all over the continent battle for supremacy. It's a tournament brimming with pride, passion, and history, yet it often doesn't get the attention it truly deserves in the global football conversation. AFCON's significance cannot be overstated. Staged typically during European winter, it allows African teams to shine on their own stage, free from the distractions of major European club competitions. But despite its high entertainment value and the level of competition, AFCON remains a competition that has not received the respect it truly deserves, particularly from European audiences. When we think of world football powerhouses, names like Brazil, Argentina, France, and Germany come to mind. These countries have hoisted the prestigious FIFA World Cup trophy multiple times, cementing their status as dominant forces in global football. However, Africa has struggled to reach the same heights. No African nation has ever won the World Cup, and the closest a team has come to breaking that barrier was Morocco's stunning journey to the semi-finals during the Qatar 2022 World Cup. Morocco's performance in 2022 was a historic achievement, as they became the first African and Arab nation to reach the semi-finals of a World Cup. It was a monumental moment for African football, signaling that the continent's teams are not just capable but also worthy of competing at the highest levels. Yet, the lack of a World Cup victory continues to fuel a sense of frustration and unfulfilled potential within the continent. The financial disparity between major footballing nations further highlights the challenges African teams face. While AFCON winners like Ivory Coast earned a substantial $7 million for their victory in 2023, the disparity is evident when compared to other international tournaments. For example, Argentina's World Cup win in 2022 brought in a staggering $42 million, and Spain's victory in Euro 2024 fetched approximately €28 million, roughly £23.4 million. This stark difference in financial rewards reflects the inequalities in global football, and it often raises the question, how can African nations close the gap and elevate their footballing stature to match the wealth and influence of European nations? While African teams have shown immense promise on the international stage, the continent's players have historically struggled to earn the recognition they deserve. A testament to this is the iconic Ballon d'Or, the most prestigious individual award in football. The history of the Ballon d'Or has been dominated by European and South American players, with few exceptions. In 1995, George Weah, the former AC Milan and Liberia striker, broke barriers by becoming the first, and so far, the only, African player to win the Ballon d'Or. Weah's victory was a monumental moment not just for African football but for the global football landscape. His triumph was seen as a breakthrough for African players, proving that talent on the continent could rival the best in the world. Yet, despite his groundbreaking achievement, no African player has managed to replicate Weah's success in the years since. Fast forward to the 21st century, and Sadio Mane, the former Liverpool winger and Senegalese football legend, stands as the only African player to have finished in the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or voting in recent years. Mane's exceptional performance in 2022 was a testament to his brilliance, yet his close second-place finish to Lionel Messi felt bittersweet to many African fans. While Mane's feat was impressive, it highlights the larger issue African footballers face. Despite their extraordinary abilities, they often fall short in the eyes of voters who tend to favor European or South American players. Another player who has experienced this frustration is Egypt's Mohamed Salah. Salah, widely regarded as one of the best footballers in the world, has finished 5th in the Ballon d'Or rankings on 2 occasions, 2019 and 2022. While these rankings are an achievement in their own right, many believe that Salah's talent and contributions to his club and country warrant a higher position. In 2021, former Arsenal and England legend Ian Wright made a powerful statement about the media's treatment of African football, particularly the Africa Cup of Nations. He remarked that media coverage of AFCON was tinged with racism, questioning whether any football tournament had been more disrespected than the Africa Cup of Nations. Wright's comments sparked a debate about the way African football is perceived and covered by mainstream media. It's undeniable that AFCON often doesn't receive the same level of coverage or respect as other major international tournaments, despite the high level of competition and the incredible talent on display. The lack of recognition for AFCON and the players who compete in it can be seen as part of a broader issue of racism and discrimination in the world of football. African players, despite their immense talent and accomplishments, continue to be overshadowed by players from other continents, often being overlooked in major award discussions like the Ballon d'Or. This imbalance raises important questions about the structure of football's global narrative. Why is it that players like Salah, Mane, and Weah are still not given the recognition they deserve on the world stage? Why does the media continue to underplay the significance of AFCON, despite its history and influence on the global football landscape? These are questions that need to be addressed, as African footballers continue to defy expectations and demonstrate their ability to compete at the highest level. The Africa Cup of Nations continues to serve as a celebration of African football, bringing together teams from all corners of the continent to showcase their talent. While it is a tournament that has seen its fair share of challenges, it remains an important part of African football culture and a stepping stone toward greater international recognition. The continent has produced some of the world's greatest football talents, from George Weah to Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. However, the question remains, when will African football truly get the respect it deserves on the global stage? As African football continues to grow and develop, there is hope that the next generation of players will rise to even greater heights. With more financial investment in African football, better representation in global media, and a more inclusive approach to major awards like the Ballon d'Or, Africa's footballing future looks bright. But until that day comes, we must continue to ask ourselves, will African football ever receive the recognition it has long deserved? What do you think needs to change for African football to be given the respect and recognition it deserves on the global stage? Share your thoughts in the comments below.